Welcome back to the TwistedTubz Podcast. I am your host, Stephen Tuberty, aka TwistedTubz. And for the third time, we have got Luna Wolf, aka Wolfie. We've come back to complete the trilogy.
Hey, everyone.
Back, man. You know?
Oh, thanks.
See, I thought I'd scare you off in the first episode because I never shut the fuck up yapping. But I think that's the point of my podcast. You know?
But we went off on a tangent. I don't fuck the shut up.
I believe, listen to me, audience here, people watching this video. I can't remember, was it the first or second episode, but I melted my brain into a turn.
There we go, we've done it. We've finally done it. You've broken me.
Luna has melted her own brain. I am so happy about this. Not that you melted your brain, Luna, but it's just, it didn't happen to just me.
It happened.
It happened to both of us within a trilogy. I love it. And speaking of trilogies, Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Where do you land on a trilogy?
Oh, so I grew up with Star Wars. Mm-hmm. So how do I land on the trilogy? I mean, when we're speaking of the trilogy, which
like obviously we're
talking about?
I can say we're 80s kids, right?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, we're 80s kids, so we grew up with the original trilogy. That was our jam, and then the later kids got the prequel trilogy, and I've learned to Clone Wars, no, but like Revenge of the Sith and things like that. I've grown to have a more of a fondness for it over the years.
I think.
Where do you land on the new trilogy?
What, like Force Awakens?
Yes.
I mean, the cinematography was good.
Mm-hmm. Now, I loved Rey. Now, obviously, there was no direction in the trilogy. It kind of looked like they were making it up as they were going over time. But I actually
Rey. They were, weren't they? They were making this up.
I mean, you had...
they went along.
I mean, originally they had 3 directors, so I'm assuming it was one director's story, and then, you know what I mean? It got... Best way of saying it got messy before it got to the end.
You know when you just say, oh, I'm just going to go out for one drink?
Yeah.
And it never ends up like that.
No, God no. Which is
that's kind of how the new ones have gone. It's just like, oh, I'll just go in this direction. Oh, nah.
I mean, for me,
I'm going to try really hard. No.
But that's what it was for me. It was one of those things. It was like they tried that. It was like, we'll go in this direction. Oh, it didn't work. Maybe this direction. Okay, that worked. Let's do a little more. Oh, fuck, no, that fell. And it just became one of those. It was like, well, look, I mean, I personally didn't hate it as much as most. I mean, obviously, there was a lot of things in it that I did not like.
Yeah, I mean, I loved the movies. I loved The Force Awakens. I love the movies, like, because of the cinematography. I liked the movies because of the actors. I liked the movies. I mean, everybody also says that they couldn't fight with lightsabers. They couldn't. The choreography was shit. But actually, there's one thing that I noticed about the lightsabers that they were fighting with, and correct me if I'm wrong, but those lightsabers were fucking heavy as fuck. Yeah. Like really hard to wield.
Real heavy sabers. They didn't.
Yeah, as far as I can see, they're not stunt sabers like I've got. Like I've got the stunt sabers from I forget the company now, but they're really light and they're like, you can fight with them and you can twizzle them around and do all those, tricks and shit. But the ones that they were using in the movie were like heavy, like, doesn't make any sense. But I guess that's the reason why the choreography in that wasn't as good as we have seen in previous movies. I don't know, I liked it, but apparently George Lucas is coming back to fix the mistakes that were made.
I heard rumors about a retcon. I was kind of going, I personally don't think they should retcon it. I think they should leave it as is and then kind of work around it, because I think that's what they're doing with the TV shows. They're kind of retconning it to improve it and stuff with storylines.
I think they should improvise and go with it. Just make it up as they go along. I mean, who does that?
I know, yeah. But this brings me to my next question off the bat of like Star Wars and the crazy costumes and things and stuff and you have done a lot of modeling.
Yeah.
So
I've done some modeling.
Walk me through that. Like what's the catalyst for that? Like how did you end up kind of falling into that?
So
direction?
oh my goodness. So me, I used to really like pissing about with, if that's even the word, like messing around with like special effects makeup and things.
Yeah.
And I used to take photos of that. And then some of my friends were like, oh, well, we take photos of you. And then I was like, okay, cool, let's do this and cover me in blood and everything. And then they were like, we're kind of bored of like taking photos of you in blood. And I'm like, what? How could you be bored of that? So they decided to put me in latex and or like other bits and pieces. So that's kind of where it went, you know, if that makes any sense. It didn't last. It was in my younger-ish years, so like my early 20s and my like later 20s, because then I started to go, I'm really bored of this. I want to go back into movies.
Funny that you say that. You were saying it's like, oh yeah, I kind of messed around with it, and I did the modeling thing and, you know, the photos and stuff.
Yeah.
I wrestled backyard for 8 years in a black gothic costume with a white mask on my face, getting power bomb and bonnets of cars. And then when I got injured, I decided, okay, maybe I should go back to the acting, you know, and that's kind of similar.
Injuries would do that.
We always find ourselves in these things. Now, don't get me wrong, I did love wrestling. I'm a big wrestling nutcase. I still stay up and watch WrestleMania every year because, you know, that's what we do. But no, because with the things, because I had seen some of your modeling pictures and stuff with the wolf makeup on and things like that, and the double contacts and things, and I just thought, like, this is so cool.
Oh, those scleras, they are so hard to get in your eyeballs.
I can't,
you know, the ones that are like, because then what you actually have to do is you have to open your eyelids, both of them. You have to, like, this is like gross, sorry, trigger warning. And then you have to like ridge the top of it right underneath the top of your eyelid, and then use both fingers to like force it up inside your eyelid in order to then get the bottom half down. And I'm just like, so uncomfortable. And I did I think it was a Frankenstein shoot a long while ago for someone, I can't remember, but like they actually put like one of those scleras. They asked me to put a sclera in that would basically have like all these little veins and things in it, and I couldn't see out of it. It was like the most uncomfortable thing I've ever had to wear. It's like eyeballs.
I did it once. There was one time I put contacts in. Was where I was doing. It was like we were just messing around with one of the girls we knew was trying to get better at like zombie makeup and stuff. So we all let her dress us up as zombies and things. And I put the contacts in and then put like that, like the red blood for the eye.
Oh, that stuff is so thick and so
it was like, it was like, you know, it was like this, like walking like a blurred effect on my eyes. And I don't know what it is. And I remember trying to do them for a Halloween costume again a few years later. And I swear to God, man, my anxiety went up through the roof trying to get these on my eye. I just could not.
It's the most uncomfortable thing. You can put me in a full full face of like special effects makeup or latex even, or prosthetics or whatever, but my eyes, stay the fuck away from my eyes. I mean, I will do them. Like I did some photos. I did some photos recently of me and my new, because I bought myself a spirit hood for my birthday. I was just like, fuck it, you know, I'm just gonna treat myself. And so I bought myself this dire wolf like shawl thing with a big hood and ears. Oh my God, it's so good. Anybody wants like I'm not like affiliated with them at all or anything, but spirit hoods, they're really good quality. They come from America, but like, anyway, this
every top I own has a hood in it. Like I got my own top designed out of like broken denim with TwistedTubz wrote on the back of it, and I even when I was going to the girl to get it done, I went and like I gave her the measurements for a Jedi hood, so this hood would come up and drop down.
I've actually got a pattern for Kylo Ren's outfit that anyway, but going back to the dye hood thing.
Finish that costume and take pictures.
We'll go back to that in a second, because actually that's a.
I'm saying for you.
Star Wars thing. Sorry.
I'm saying for you. You need to like make that costume work and
I do. I absolutely do. Yeah, this is a side project that I haven't actually told you about yet. But yeah, so I still do I self shoot now.
Yeah.
So I've got my phone connected to my my Canon 5D. And I self shoot because I still absolutely love editing, and I love dressing up, and I love doing photo shoots. But I think the whole mainstream thing kind of got boring really easily because that's not who I am. I'm not that kind of, I'm not, oh, look at me, you know, let me get my tits out and blah. And I've never I've not done that, but I'm
just like, it needs to be creatively sparked for your imagination.
I want to be known for my skill rather than my body, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I want to be known for creating incredibly beautiful art. Hey, you know, I got naked and I did some this is going to sound really weird, but I was a human instrument once. They put hooks in my back and they attached me to a spring that was attached to another person with hooks in his back that then was attached to an amplifier, and they got the crowd to bash on the spring with sticks.
Oh my God.
So that kind of thing, yeah, of course I got naked for, because that's incredibly weird art. But that's weird shit that, you know, I said that I was up for weird shit. Yeah, that's weird shit.
You're talking to the guy that made a feature film, right? His first movie, and in his brain, Luna, right, was going, well, like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna be nude in the shower. And I remember that was why, because like I'm probably never going to make another movie, so like I'm deciding I'm going to be. So that entire thing was, I set up the shot.
There's a time and a place for nudity, and I think
do you know what I mean?
It shouldn't be the main focus.
Oh God,
in my opinion.
It's you know what it is, as you said, if it becomes part of the art that you're trying to create, then
absolutely.
Perfect, you know what I mean?
And that's not to say I just want to point out that I'm actually not against like nudity or adult work or anything like that. I'm actually very pro adult work. And if somebody can make a living like using their body, then I think they're incredibly skilled, because you know that is a business in itself, and it takes an awful lot of time, dedication to get it right. So yeah, but for me, I'm like, I want to be known for my brain.
Oh yeah.
Which is so weird.
And I think that you have your hands in a lot of different avenues anyway. So
I got all my fingers in all different kind of
they're all in the jars, and they're moving all the things. It's like the puppet master, really, isn't it? You're like moving all the creative or the creatures and characters around, and then come here, and that is I mean, look, I remember being told before, it was like, maybe you're doing too much. You can never do too much, you know?
You can be doing something and not have it complete for a couple of years, but that's still doing it, right?
It's like you were saying the last time about your post-its on the wall. You know, it's there. It's in a work in progress.
And then coming back to this Star Wars thing that I was just saying about, so I've written a short movie. Well, actually, I got my friend to write a short movie based on some key points, because I can't write scripts. I'm not even joking. I can't sit down. I can't go, okay, blank page, here we go. You know, I just don't have the concentration for that. But my good friend actually wrote a script. It is a Star Wars fan film that is based on the universe itself, like the actual canon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know if we've managed to get it correct, but he did so much research. Oh my goodness, it was so funny. He was like, right, so I'm looking into this, and I'm looking into that, and this timeline here, and this family, and blah blah blah. So I'm the only reason why I want to do it is so that then I can do the CGI effects in post for the lightsabers.
And you're going to be in it.
yeah.
Oh
so
God,
hopefully we're going to get Maiko involved. They said that they'd help, but obviously it's got to be based around, you know, their free time and everything.
Of course.
And it's just a Star Wars fan film that is based around, like, we're going to get proper choreographer in and, you know, do that. But I've got the pattern for Kylo Ren's outfit in my workroom right now, and I've got all like the black material that I've chosen and everything, and I'm going to make the big hood, and I'm going to get my friend to like print out a custom sized, like almost like a Revan mask
Oh, yeah.
But it's a different design, so I'm going to get him to like make it like personal to this movie and everything. And I mean, the script is written, well, at least the 8th version of this script is written, so it'll probably need a couple more rewrites before we actually
all good scripts go up to about an 8th or 9th or 10th, depending, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. But we're gonna get a proper choreographer in, and we're gonna do it properly. And I'm just looking forward to like being able to put the CGI effects in it.
Yeah.
But like my brother, like I said, my brother has done a lot on 3D games design and things like that with his college work and everything. I've just given him a file in Blender that is this spaceship that we've recolored. And we're hopefully going to animate the whole of the first scene is like the ship coming in out of. I'm saying too much, but never mind.
So basically, you're working on a new project with a new costume that's Star Wars related.
It doesn't honestly. To be honest, like it's not a project that I need to keep secret because it is just a fan film. I'm not going to want to, make money out of it because that would be silly and. It's just something that I sort of thought that I really wanted to try. And all I wanted to do was do the lightsaber effects in the choreography. And then it turned into this whole like short movie.
I'm all for fan films, man. I mean, I have this mad dream. I think I bought the cowl. I have the cowl bought.
Yes.
Over time, I'm going to start picking away at the gloves and the belt and I'm going to...
I even sourced the little clips on his gloves.
No way.
So they're clips from enduro boots.
Yes.
They're the clips from enduro boots, and I was doing all the research, and I was like, "Where did this come from?"
Oh my god! So you're properly making this authentic as hell,
Yeah, and I'm gonna try and make the midriffs out of leather and basically laser engrave them with all this like Sith kind of design and everything, and make it like the attention to detail in it. Again, it is the whole thing of me going to bed at midnight and realizing my brain is going to keep me awake for 3 hours thinking about something else other than sleeping.
I mean, it happens to me every night. 12 o'clock hits. Do you know yourself? 12 o'clock is when you should be kind of going, be simmering down here now. 12 o'clock is for me to kind of go I could watch a movie for 2 hours. Yeah. And then, before you know it, you're either sleep fast down on the couch at 5:30 or you've gotten to bed at 4. It's always I always start to panic after 4 a.m. because then I'm like, what if I don't actually get any sleep? I mean, and that's happened. I've had moments where I've fallen asleep, and it's the stubbornness of the creative mind as well as if you're editing, of course.
You have to get it finished.
And you do it in such a way that you've done it and then you render it and you're going, oh my god, this is going to take 3 hours. Now you could go to bed and let that render away, but my brain is so mental that I'm sitting going, oh my god, I have to wait until this is done. And then
everything has to be in its place, nice and neatly, all done and signed off. That's my problem.
Yeah, and because technology has that habit of, if you did go to bed and go, I'll be grand, I'll just leave that do its thing. You wake up in the morning and all that work might be gone. So you panic. You go into panic mode, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got this thing. If, say for instance, if I take some unboxing videos for my channel, or if I do anything for my channel, I have one day where I film it, and then the next day I've sort of put aside to edit. And if I don't get those 3 or 4 videos edited and scheduled up, I'm just like, I'm a failure.
Yeah, you genuinely feel like you've kind of oh man, I'm
an imposter. I can't do this.
I mean, that was me last year. It was the world went into a pandemic, and instead of going okay, these are different times and everything's a little weird and everything else, I spent 6 months of the year going, oh man, I'm so stupid because I didn't why didn't I create things and then you beat yourself up because you haven't created the things you think in your brain you should have done. But realistically, you probably were right to not do anything because you kind of had to try balance your mental health and keep it all kind of going. And then it's and then you find you've put yourself into a tailspin, and it's And I mean, I do
Absolutely.
that.
So me and my like closest, bestest friend, we've got this whole thing where we give each other permission to have a day off.
Yes, I
Like,
like
we
that idea.
shouldn't need that. We shouldn't need that. We should be able to give ourselves day offs when our bodies want it or our minds want it. But you know, we've gotten to the point now where I'm texting her and I'm like, I give you permission to have a day off, and she's like, I give you permission, and I'm just like, wow, it's the key to having a really healthy and happy life is to giving each other permission to have a day off. It's like, what the
And
fuck?
and you know yourself, it's because I mean, and I think, look, I know I've fallen into it. It's creativity, man. It's anything. It's work life. It's life in general. You get so swept up
Yeah.
in the bubble that is life in general, and regardless of what avenue it is, that you, before you know it, you're 6 months in, you're like, I can't remember the last time I just sat down and, you know, like watched TV or got a
Yeah.
takeaway and just played a game, you know. And
Yeah.
now, obviously, we're in a pandemic. It's a very different ball game. But I think what you're doing with the channel and just taking time away from everything to just chilling,
Yeah.
you know, find something that's making you happy. I think that's the best thing to do, man.
I think that's one of the main reasons why obviously I wanted to do it anyway for such a long time, but I think one of the main reasons why I did my channel is literally so that I could just like get out of that work brain and create something for fun, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, I've already got like 108 subscribers in a month. I think I opened it on the 4th of December or something crazy.
That was crazy.
So it's grown really quick, you know, like, and
that's good.
I think it's because I'm just having fun with it. You know, I'm not seeing it as a chore.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same with everything you do. If it's a chore, then you really need to put it down for a bit and just like go, okay, I need to reevaluate my life. Well, no, maybe not that extreme, but you know what I mean? Like, I need to
I totally do. I
reevaluate
mean,
this.
and that's what I was going to ask you. The next question was, I was going to ask you about your hobbies and stuff, but
Yeah.
we're talking about it right now. So, you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
getting
Like
stuck in.
anything. Okay, so my hobbies are
Right.
doing things fast.
Yes, yes.
Whether or not that be eating or driving or, you know, that kind of thing, or falling.
Yeah.
Doing things fast. I really love doing things fast. Like shooting things.
So
I love
you've
shooting
gotten
things.
running, doing things fast and shooting things. Yeah.
I like hitting things as well.
Hitting's good, man. Hitting's good. You know, I'm not, it isn't that a great thing to say, but I lost my temper there during the pandemic, and I caught a Buzz Lightyear and threw it across the room and broke the light switch. Like, I mean, popped the entire thing off. I wouldn't have hit that light switch if I tried 100 times. It was just the most random thing. But you know, as much as I was going, oh my God, I'm messing up the light switch, my inner self was like, oh yeah, but you smashed it really good. Look at it. Look how much you smashed it. That's the way your brain works, man. You know?
Your inner self is like, damn, that was a good shot.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, but you really smashed the shit out of it. Like I did.
Yeah, I like doing that. I like driving things. You know, like all of my hobbies include things that I can do as a business, if that makes sense. I can make money out of it. But the one thing I have to remind myself is that I need to give myself permission to do those things without the idea of earning money in my brain while I'm doing it, because then I'm not really having a break at all. I'm just grinding and grinding and grinding.
I mean, that's how I approached the acting when I when I started running at it at full force. Was that like, I remember I had this kind of like come to Jesus moment with my brain and kind of said like, you have to do this for the love and fun of it, because 9 times out of 10 you're going to be disappointed, because obviously, you know, because at the end of the day it's one of the hardest industries to break.
But not only that, here's another thing that I've come to realize recently is like, no matter whether or not you're a freelancer, you're in a contract, or you're in full-time employment, the secret to happiness is to make a passion out of it. Like, not think that it is just, I'll get to 6 o'clock, you know, I need to survive this. You need to find that happy place in whatever it is you're doing when you earn money.
Yes.
You know, like the Japanese, a friend of mine was explaining to me, like a cleaner for cleaning the floor, right? That person will go out and research like all the different types of bleachers, all the different types of like cleaners and brushes and different things, they will find passion in their job, no matter what it is. And it will completely change their way of thinking and looking at it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was absolutely gobsmacked. And I was like, wow, yeah, if we all think like that, then, you know.
Isn't that the trick though? Because you know yourself, because we talked about it on the previous episodes and stuff. It's when you do work the 9 to 5s, and when you are kind of stuck in the call centers and the bubbles of you know, you're not fully tuned in. You do find that it becomes so much more of a chore for you to be there than the person that's sitting next to you that wants to be there. You know, the promotion, like, you know, and you've already kind of lost the fight halfway if you're only half in. But I find we've also talked about this. It's like, you know, when we attack things like film sets or acting, you know, anything, like, you know, I mean, when we do these, like, I mean, I started this channel or this podcast because obviously because I wanted to like reignite the creativity that I felt I wasn't getting during 2020 and so on. But also my biggest reason for it wasn't to like get views or anything like that. It was more because I miss talking to people. Like I miss interacting with people outside of like the bubble, you know? And
I get that.
And it's been so cool because I've gotten to speak to people about music and like, I mean, and like we were talking about like Twitch and YouTube, and in the other episodes we ended up going off talking about skydiving and
we went on such a tangent. It's unreal.
But
so much fun.
That's what I mean, is what I loved about that whole thing was it was like that's a natural conversation that just happened.
Yeah.
And you know, you can't fake that. That's just cool. That's how people are supposed to interact. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, like the more people do things that make their hearts sing, the more quality of life they'll have. And I think, you know, this whole pandemic has made me realize there were aspects of my life that just didn't make me feel alive, you know. And there's a couple of, well, one in particular, there's an individual that like has been there for me and basically made it okay for me to not want to do those things. And she's been like, you know, you can do whatever you want to do. And every time I come up with an idea, she's been like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, you know, go for it, do something with it. And I was just like, this is how we all need to be, you know, this is how we all need to be. And she's helped me find that passion in life again. And I think, you know, as long as we can like keep each other up with all the things that we want to do, you know, it's like a film set. If somebody said to me tomorrow, oh yeah, you need to go and get a COVID test so that then you can come and be a runner on my set, I'd be like, I'm there.
Go get the test and get me back in the game, you know.
I'm going to go and get a test. I'll get it done tonight if need be. But you know, being a runner is like so much fun. You know, you get to see everything happen, and you get to be the support for all the cogs. You know.
On that note, out of all the, like, obviously because we're both very ingrained in the film thing, you know.
Yeah.
So like, off the top of your head, like, how many different jobs have you done on like all different sets? Like, how many like have you ventured into?
Oh, okay. Let me think. So I've been an actress. Yeah. I've been a director.
Yeah.
I've been a producer. I've been an editor. I've touched on sound. I mean, sound isn't really my thing, but I understand how important it really is, considering the most recent movie that I did, a short movie that I did with a friend of mine. It's called Critical Perfection. It was about like this music guy. The one thing that I noticed, because I didn't have the right connection for my camera at the time, so I could listen to what was going on.
Yeah.
There was an awful lot of like background noise, and there was like his shirt was like rubbing up against the microphone an awful lot and things like that. And actually, it's made me really appreciate sound, guys. So I did a little bit of sound. I've done special effects makeup. I came for moral support once on a set.
You gotta be there for that, like.
Yeah, absolutely. I went
Absolutely.
over to one of the Myco productions with donuts in hand, and I was like, I'm just gonna show up and just hope that they like me showing up. So they were like really appreciative of that.
You bought donuts, they were not going to send you away.
Yeah. Then I did lighting on the thinning veil that has just come out. Well, no, it came out. Fuck, when was it now? Last Halloween. It was the thinning veil for Myco. So I helped with lighting, and I did the special effects makeup for that. Yeah, so I've done a lot.
Yeah, you have.
I did.
Yeah.
I did my own stunts in Slush House 2. Although some of the close-ups they didn't make it to the cut because it was too long, if that makes sense. But
I don't know if you can see this, but
oh my goodness!
Where?
Oh no! What happened?
That happened on a film set.
Oh shit! What happened? Tell us.
Yeah, my tooth got knocked clean out of my head, so I have to get. Obviously, I have to get that replaced now.
Are you going to get an implant or a bridge?
No, I think I'm gonna go full implant on it. The more expensive, staying longer thing.
Would you believe I used to be a dental nurse?
Really?
Yeah.
See, there's another thing.
I'd go for
We're 3 episodes in and we learned this.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to be a dental nurse. I'd go for an implant if I was you.
Yeah, because that happened on a film set, and the film that it happened on never got released.
Oh no! Oh no!
How painful is that, like?
The amount of films that actually don't get released is more than what people would realize. Like,
this is kind of why I'm going back finishing this one now, the one we're actually working on, because we shot it 4 years ago. And because I was so busy, because I ended up just being so busy with Paddy and all the other lads just doing things constantly, like short movies and features and everything, we were constantly going. So the film ended up on my hard drive sitting there. And then
finish it.
And that was the funny thing, is like my friend, as I said on the last episode, Tim, he was on the show, and we were talking about, like, you know, the old movies and projects, and then we just, after the show, we just decided, let's Zoom call and get this done.
Finish it, or else I'll come over there to Ireland and I'll kick you in the butt.
Yes,
and then I'll make you finish it.
And then kick me in the butt and give me permission to have a day off after I've done it.
Yeah, absolutely. You have my full permission to have a day off after you finish that.
Yes.
Maybe 2. In fact, I'm going to give you 2 days off.
I might even take a week off. Just catch up on shows. Let's not get too excited. You know, eat some pizza, because, you know, I haven't had a lot of takeaway lately, so, you know, I'm missing it a lot.
I think you need to give yourself a break after that. Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Obviously I've been doing the show, the new podcasting thing, and I'm really digging it. But you know yourself, you put a chunk of work into doing, and then you kind of like get yourself ahead or whatever, and you know, and you just gotta take a day or 2 out to just
absolutely,
let the brain
like
breathe.
the whole of so I released three videos last week on my YouTube channel, and then I spent 2 days under my weighted blanket going, oh man. I was like,
isn't that the way it is, though, isn't it? Because I admire people that can just stay focused 24/7. I just don't have that mind. I don't have that like, I can do it. It's weird how I work. I always said it, when the first 4 or 5 months of the year I tread ground, and I try and, like, it's very different this year. It's kind of, I'm starting earlier than I normally would in any creative process, but it's very much a thing where I'm kind of going, normally I would tread ground and I'd be like, oh, I have 100 ideas going in my brain, but I can't really seem to get any of them done until I hit like the middle of the year, and then it's guns blazing, and it's like 10 movies
your audio keeps dropping out.
Did it drop out? Did it?
Only now, like every now and then your audio keeps dropping out and you go mute.
Right.
So you just started.
That didn't happen the rest of the time, did it?
No.
Okay, so
just now.
Probably just a dip in signal or something now. So maybe. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. It was just a couple of seconds, and then I could hear you again, and then it was a couple of seconds.
Okay.
It's weird.
Yeah, did you know what it is? I said this to one of the lads before as well, Luna. It's the era we live in where we have to
Yeah.
do things online. We're kind of at the detriment of
It's the
technology.
modern day seance. Is anybody there? Can you hear me?
And it's one of those things where we were doing the Zoom, a post-production Zoom call for the movie recently, and we were having a laugh and a joke because it was either the signal on my friend's side or my side, but every time we'd look at the screen, it would be flickering. Like the person would be like this.
I haven't been looking at your screen because my camera is above my gaming screen and you are there, so I've been kind of
and it's weird because I've been catching myself doing that as well. I've been looking at your screen, but I've been looking back at mine, so every now and again you probably see my eyes go back and forth like this.
I've been making a point to look at the camera because, like, you know, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking
there.
But I know I'm talking over this way as well. It's just trying to figure out like where the person is. As I said, and it's all creativity, and you're learning as you go. So and every new video, I'm kind of picking things up as I go, like, you know. But but I have a question for you, like, because we've talked for three episodes now. And I think this is a good, like, you know, when you say you get to know people, it's a good question. So off the top of your head, if I was to ask you, what are your favorite 3 Disney movies of all time are?
Oh, okay. Are we talking old, or are we talking kind of recent?
We're talking all of them. Like, the reason I'm asking you this is because you obviously, I'll hear yours and then I'll give you my first 2 and you have to guess my favorite.
This is a tough one.
There's a lot there.
There is a lot there. Like, I liked the Pirates of the Caribbean.
I never even thought to add that in as a Disney, like, animated. Or actually, we'll go with the animated movies.
Oh, the cartoons?
Yeah, we'll go with the cartoons because I think that kind of brings it down, gives you a better chance to pick stuff because it's too broader if we do it that way.
Oh my goodness. All of the original, like, really old ones that I used to watch, I've actually watched them back recently and it's like, whoa, that's misogynistic.
Oh, yeah, big time. Yeah.
But the old animated movies of Disney, I really liked Sleeping Beauty. Like,
very good. Yeah.
I loved it. Like, Maleficent was, like, hands down one of my favorite characters. Like, she was, like, badass and hot as well. So I was like, yeah. So yeah, Sleeping Beauty, Aladdin. Again, I identified with Jafar.
It's such an underrated movie as well, I think.
Oh, isn't it? It's so good. Like, The Sword and Stone.
Wow, that's a left for me. That's a left swing choice. I thought you would have went with one of the more thing, but I loved it. But this is why I asked this question because you just never know what way it's going to go.
No, I love them. I love The Sword and Stone. I love Merlin. I loved all that magic, and I loved the way that they depicted it. Oh, wow. Robin Hood as well. Sorry, that's 4, isn't it?
If you want 4, you can have 4. There's no limit. I just said 3. 4. You can have 4.
Those 4. Although,
what?
Oh no, wait, that's a movie. That's a film movie.
That doesn't matter. But like, so your top 4 would be those of the cartoons, right? I'm going to give you my.
Oh yeah, 3. The cartoons. Yeah.
I'm going to give you 3 and 2, and I want you to guess number 1. Aladdin is number 3.
Okay.
Lion King is number 2.
Oh, okay.
I just love that movie. It's so good.
He was great.
So what do you think, after speaking to me for three episodes, what do you think my favorite Disney animated movie is? That's
tough. There are so many good choices.
I ask all the hard questions, Luna.
Yeah, you did. Oh my God, how am I gonna choose this? Okay, so Aladdin and the Lion King. Definitely not The Little Mermaid.
Now, I have seen that ridiculous amount of times over the years due to my daughter. So
For the longest time, I used to actually use forks as hairbrushes. I don't know, man.
Want me to tell you?
Yeah, tell me.
Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, yeah. Why did I not think of that? It had to be Beauty and the Beast.
I do not know what it is about that movie. It's just something about it. It captivates me. I fell in love with the story of it and everything.
I think I know why.
What?
It's probably the same reason as to why I like that movie. But correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Yeah,
I've got a theory. Okay, so being of our kind, we would identify so much with the Beast.
Yes. and it is, isn't it? Like,
and throughout our entire lives, we want to believe that there is a happy ending for us. Am I right or am I wrong?
I 100% agree with you. I always felt, because when I watched it younger, obviously I wouldn't have been aware of
absolutely,
ADHD and things like that, and things when you get older. But I always
throughout my entire life, I felt like a monster and I felt like a beast, and I've not known why. And most recently, I've obviously found out why. But that movie made me feel like that there was hope.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
No,
and
it does,
that,
because
there was a happy ending.
Because when Belle first comes to the castle, and he's portrayed as a monster, and you see under that big,
and she's afraid of him as well. Like, she is absolutely terrified of him.
Yeah, and then as time goes on, and you kind of start to rip away the layers, you still see
the
this
sadness
monster
in his eyes. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, he's just trying to figure himself out as much as the world is trying to kind of like figure him out around them. It's crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally get it, and I completely connect with that, like, hands down. One of the movies that I actually it's got to be that. One of the movies that I identify with is got to be that.
And I love that. This is why I've asked that question a few times before, and I think that's the first time I think another guest has kind of understood it. And I don't mean that as a slight, but just because we are very similar, as we found out over the last 3 episodes. We have very similar traits and very similar ways of looking at things, which is awesome.
Absolutely. Which actually brings me to the film that I was going to mention, and that's White Fang.
Yes.
The wolf gets befriended by the kid, and then the wolf gets like taken away and like forced to be this monster, and it takes the wolf a lot of like time and energy by this kid again to be able to like bring him back to who he was. And I'm talking about the wolf, not the boy. And this whole journey, I wasn't watching it for the kid, I was watching it for the animal, and I was just like, wow. Just like right there. Trust issues, like being treated wrong because obviously you're seen as this thing without being understood, and forced into this role. Completely misunderstood.
I think when you compare, like as we were saying, especially with Beauty and the Beast, and if you compare it to the whole ADHD thing, it's not that we're seen as a big grotesque monster. It's just we're seen as very indifferent and misunderstood because people can't figure out why we do and say the things we do sometimes, because it seems very left and right wing.
Whereas we're 50 shades of red, black, and blue.
Yes, very much so. But the only thing about this is, that is a very, very colourful palette to be upon.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? And I'd rather be upon that palette than, just simple grey and black.
Or black and white. Boring. Yeah, some people are black and white, like it is or it isn't, whereas we're like, but what if the wind is blowing in this direction and the sun is shining over there and the clouds are there and like there's water on the ground but it's not raining, and there's too many variables.
Something? It is. I feel that we've like. I mean, I like, because I'm obviously. I think that was a beautiful ending to this trilogy. Like, we got heartfelt, we got deep, and we got got right into the end of the meat on it, like, you know, and that's a good thing. But I genuinely do think that, like, two people that chatted for 3 episodes, you know, got to know each other a little more, and it's cool. Do you know what I mean? We got to figure out.
Both our brains broke.
There's more like us out there. Do you know what I mean? That's what.
Yeah, there is.
We're not just alone in this, like. And you know, and I don't find, and it's weird, I don't find myself alone in it anymore. Like
no.
and this is the weird thing that people, when you say that, like, people are like, what do you want about? I was always around people. I'm a people person. Like, I'm a hugger. I'm always around people talking. As you know, you've spoken to me for 3 episodes. I never shut the fuck up. But there are times when I'm so trapped in my own head that I even in a room full of people, I feel alone because I can't get out of my own head.
Because you can't communicate.
Yeah. I mean, I can communicate with the masses that are there, but I can't communicate the way I want to. That makes sense. Right?
Because we're forced to be something that other people understand.
Yeah, so you find yourself sometimes, you find yourself spending more time trying to be the version that you think you should be for other people.
Absolutely.
And, you know, and that's where the tiresomeness of it comes in. You know, I mean, you can get, like, weighed down and tired by it. But you know something? As I said at the start of the first episode, it's not bad because it is a superpower.
It's
if we can figure out to use it and mask it, we can do anything. We can move mountains and do everything great, because that's just the point of it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man. What did we learn after 3 episodes? Happiness. That's the
happiness.
Key.
Do what makes you happy, as long as it's not killing people.
And come here, watch out. We made a new friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all good. I love it. You know. But on that note, as I said, I think this is a fitting ending for a trilogy.
Yeah, I think so too.
I really do. I think we landed on a nice, cool note on that one. But yeah. So look, before we go, it's been 3 episodes, and I've had an absolute blast. Genuinely have. It's great getting to just chat to you and just, you know, really kind of just ramble, because I think we rambled for a lot of it, but it's been a good ramble. It's been nice to finally actually ramble with you properly rather than on text. Exactly, because I think it's been more I think it was therapeutic in a way for both of us. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, it's been great. So yeah, we made a new friend. We had a good chat. She is Luna Wolf, aka Wolfie. I am Stephen Tubley, aka TwistedTubz, and you have been watching the TwistedTubz podcast. Thank you very much. Throw those thumbs up. And me and Luna will see you in the next cartoon. See you later, guys.